First car I ever had was a Chevy, 84 celebrity. Swung through the streets real heavily. Red velvet paint job, threw some 12s in the back, so I could pull up knocking in the schoolyard. Put some hubcaps on and kept it clean though. My goal was to make the kids scream bingo. I had fans before I put my first single out near where I went. I took my partners and we screaming out Chevy gang, Chevy gang, Chevy gang, Chevy gang, Chevy gang, Chevy gang, Chevy. Hey, we fought the trunk when we wartime ready. We swerving in the street, we never hold the wheel steady. A gang of Chevrolets on the highway swing. Took over all the lane, probably looking like we drinking. Pulled up to the bar, got the bike gang stitch. Walked over to me.
What's going on, everybody? How was y'all living today? Hope everyone had a good weekend. Today I want to talk about suspension. Alright? You know what I mean? The suspension, I want to say, will be more of for someone, how would I say it? For somebody who works out, right? You know what I mean? I would say your chest and your arms will be the motor, and your legs is the damn suspension. So you know what? Like they say, you can't forget leg day. Nobody. Now, with the suspension, I mean, there's different setups that you can go. Just like with the motor, there's different setups you can go, or whatnot. But what I want to speak about is that, or talk about, is getting the right struts or shocks and springs for the application. Now, let's say your vehicle that you're building or whatnot is let's say it's a daily driver, right? Now, in a sense, you don't want to go out there and get the stiffest springs or get the stiffest shocks available. And some might ask why. Why not? Why not, Riz? Why can't I get the, or why shouldn't I get the springs, the stiffest springs out there? Well, because if it's your daily, you're gonna hate life. It's gonna be, it will have a chance to become a rattle can or whatnot. Or, I mean, it depends on what kind of vehicle it is, or, you know what I mean, the age of it. But if you're like me and got a bad back, you may not want to get that real hard stiff spring. And then not only that, you don't need a stiff spring or that harsh of a stiff spring that it hurts your back to have a very performance vehicle for the street. You know what I mean? Like, it'll be, by that point, it'll be more of overkill, I guess you could say. You know what I mean? When you do too much, it'll be more overkill. But there is a little bit of, I guess you could say, subtle stuff that you can do. I mean, I don't know, I call it subtle. Right? I call it subtle, I guess you could say. But let's say with the spring rate, right? Now, I'll be honest, I'm not too good on the spring rates and whatnot, and can tell you for, you know what I mean, for each kind of car or whatever. But on the spring rate, let's say from stock, let's jump up. Let's go up about 2 to 3 notches. I mean, speaking of the spring rate, you know what I mean? So, oh, great, I'm in a dead end. So intense, it's not, it won't be that stiff of a spring, but then again, it won't be that loose of a spring, like on stock vehicle. Or, you know what I mean, actually some stock vehicles actually have some very, very good springs. You know what I mean? So, and then also on the struts, like for instance, I know in the import world, and I was the same way. I used to always want to get like the Japanese brand and TNs and all these other brands, but now there's one thing that you got to kind of put into perspective is that the roads in Japan are different from the roads out here in the States. And then also in the States, there's different roads that vary from state to state, right? So I mean, so you have a little bit more to kind of put hand to hand with. Oh wow, the sun is directly in the screen. But with these springs and I guess to say, I would always recommend going with adjustable coilovers, because you can adjust it for the street, how you like it on the street, right? And then when you go to the track, you can readjust it to the way you like it on the track. So that if you want it a lot stiffer on the track, it's not gonna rattle your bones, and it's not gonna kill your back on the street. You know what I mean? Like there's certain places in Los Angeles and in LA where the roads are terrible. You don't want to drive through there with a real stiff suspension going through there, because it's gonna kill your back. Trust me, I've done it. Oh my God, it hurts. You know what I mean? And now I know on some vehicles, right? Some vehicles, you may have to get a conversion or somehow convert, you know what I mean, the system into and so that you can use coilovers or whatnot. You know what I mean? So it all it's how you say it? It all depends, right? It all depends. So I guess it's, and then also what comes into play also is, or I like to go about it this way, right? When I build suspension, I'm gonna go about it this way. What am I gonna do with the car? Right? Ask yourself that question first. What is it that you want to do with the car? All right? You're gonna drag race. You're gonna road race. You're gonna autocross. You know what I mean? You're gonna drift. Because every different the different racing styles, even rally, right? The racing styles have different kind of tuning in suspension. Now, there is one kind of material that I like in the suspension wise, because not only the suspension is not just with your coils or coilovers and struts and all that. There's your control arms, bushings, you know what I mean? There's tie rod ends and there's different things that come into play. So there's a lot more to deal with. Now, in the bushings, my favorite material to use, even though sometimes it gets kind of harsh, is a polyurethane, right? Now, there's a catch with using polyurethane. If you use the red ones, they'll squeak on you. If you use the black ones, they won't. Well, in time, they won't. You know what I mean? In time. That's the key word. And the red ones, you will have to keep lubricating for them to not squeak. Perfect example is that when you I don't know how many people out there have seen some of these trucks that some of these other guys off-road or whatnot, but when they're driving around town and they hit these little bumps and what kind of all you hear these little squeaking sounds. Yeah, they got red polyurethane bushings. You know, man. So, I mean, but there's everything that comes to play. You know what I mean? Because also to lighten up the suspension. You know what I mean? To get more how would you say it? Agility out of the suspension. You know what I mean? I would say go with some tubular control arms if the vehicle has them, which a lot of them do have control arms, and some have more than others. But the tubular control arms are a lot lighter. They're a bit more stronger. You know what I mean? And it helps out, right? You know what I mean? And then also your brakes. I feel your brakes is actually a part of your suspension, and this is the reason why I'm gonna let you know. This is the reason why I say that your brakes is part of your suspension. When coming to a stop, let's say you have bad suspension, right? And you gunning it somewhere, and all of a sudden you gotta make an immediate stop. You know, man, you gotta make an immediate stop. If that suspension is not good and it's bouncing all over the place, you will have less traction from the tires that's on the pavement, which in turn, your brakes are not doing its job to help stop the vehicle, right? So therefore, you gotta get everything together. Now, let's say you planning on building a car to 500, 600, 700 horses. Typically, if you ever stop a stock vehicle that did not come out the factory with that much horsepower, your stock brakes is not going to do very well. So therefore, you will have to upgrade your brakes. And trust me, there's two things on a car that if it goes wrong, it's terrifying, and that's your brakes and suspension. You know what I mean? Well, and your steering, because if you lose a steering, that sucks. Lose a braking, that sucks. You lose your suspension. In a way, your suspension, depending on what part it is, whatever, that can mess with your steering. Ripple effect. You know what I mean? Ripple effect. that's what would happen. But yeah. And don't just go out there and start modeling the engine before, you know what I mean? I know everyone and a lot of youngsters, they want power. Trust me, I was the same way. I want power. You know what I mean? You want to be able to go fast, but you gotta be able to stop, and you gotta be able to put that power down to the road or whatnot. So therefore, you gotta take care of those things. All right, but I'm gonna just leave it here. Yeah, and I'm gonna talk to you guys next time. All right, and then also, you know what I mean, like, subscribe, and share the video. All right. But other than that, see you guys next time. Always remember, be easy, be safe, and love, peace, and happiness.